Julie, how would you like to play 3 Question Thursday?
Sure, Noreen, I would
All
love to play
right.
a few questions.
Okay. So we talked about like some of the simple foods that you said that you made simple foods. What are some of those quick meals or simple meals that you made? What were some of your favorites if you can remember? Or are
Well,
you
back
still using them?
I don't use as many of them now. I
Mhm.
do some I do. Like I like having just like an egg and a piece of Ezekiel bread with an apple and some milk. That's one of a simple one I will still do. But like I've noticed my taste buds have changed so much. Like I used to Fiber One cereal. I used to have that with 8 ounces of milk and an apple. That was a lot I used at first, but now that my taste buds have changed, like I find milk tastes sweet to me now. So I don't
Mm.
do as much milk as I used to. But yogurt, like overnight oats with the berries and the 1 ounce of oats and the yogurt and milk mixed in. That was another one that I did a lot. Um, yeah, it was such simple things like the rice cakes with some peanut butter and a banana. Um, but now that I've switched over to more of because now I find too, I have more time because like now I take time to prep and I've developed more systems of doing things, I think. Whereas at first it took all my time and energy just figuring out how to eat plain and simple and make sure I was looking it up and am I figuring out that right? And I didn't break down into, like, I wanted to keep it simple so I didn't mess up too. Does that make sense? So
Right.
like my proteins, even I rarely would split. So I rarely would have 2 ounces of meat and 4 ounces of yogurt. Even that I didn't do that often just because I wanted to know it's 4 ounces of protein. Here's my 4 ounces of protein. It's this much vegetables. Here's this much vegetables. And that's basically why I kept it so simple at first, I think, was just because I wanted to know I was doing it right.
So on the question number 2, do you prep in bulk? I know you gave me a picture that showed like, I don't know, 8 of the same thing. But
Yeah.
are you prepping in bulk, like baking a lot of things in bulk? I know you talked also about the mug cakes that you do in a 9 by 13 or 8 by 13.
Yeah. I do that with on the weekends I try to prep at least one meal for breakfast and at least one meal for supper. And if I take the time and do that, then I always have a stash of stuff in my freezer, like even like soups, I'll pre-make some soups. So, and then I have like enough freezer space that I can do that, right? So then I'll end up having like 5 different kinds of soups. Like right now in my freezer, I have like loaded cauliflower in there. I have the shepherd's pie in there. I have Lazy Man's cabbage rolls in there. I have 4 different soups in there. And then same for breakfasts. I have like the blueberry chickpea blondies also do really well. Like one large tin of chickpeas, if anybody finds that recipe, will do 4 servings. So I make 4 servings and then I do that in a 13 by 9 inch cake pan as well. Um, and I just kind of do it that way. And then there's always choices. And then I always have my days where I do like plan to cook, but sometimes I just go, oh, today I don't want to worry about tomorrow. I'm just going to grab those out of the freezer and I'm good to go. Right.
Yeah.
And I do find it is worth my time and effort to do that, especially for my lunches, because they're always there for my lunches. And suppers too. I try to keep those simple as well. Like we all have those nights where we might be working a little later, or we know we have stuff we have to do after work and we're not going to get home till 6. I always try to make sure I have some kind of meal that's quick and easy and fast to do. So I have absolutely zero reason to try to convince myself of anything else, right?
Like this is just for you or for the whole family?
I do it for the whole family, like because me and my husband, well, when you have 2 of you eating the same way, you're going through a lot of vegetables a night, right?
Oh, yeah.
My kids will not touch the vegetables, but if I
Not
cook,
yet.
what I try to do is I just will cook, let's say I cook chicken. Then the whole family will eat the chicken. I'll have the vegetables that me and my husband eat. And then the kids, I make some rice for, and then they eat that with their chicken and they're happy. So it kind of works. But like my very quickest meal I make is always have frozen cauliflower rice in the fridge, like always, like bags of it. And if I take a bag of that and then I take a bag of coleslaw mix, I throw that in there, throw in some spices and some seasonings, and I stir fry that up. Then at the end, I can just cut up my protein, put it in it. And sometimes if I really want to, I use cheese in that. Like I just will stir fry it, weigh my portion, and then I will just shred my 1 ounce of cheese on top and stir it into the rice and the coleslaw mix. And it's really, really good.
Are there any seasonings with that or not? This
I
is
usually-
still on question 2.
I use everything bagel seasoning in it. That's what I love. Or a vegetable seasoning of some sort.
So is this like Trader Joe's? The everything bagel? Or
Well, we don't have a Trader Joe's in Canada, but I know you can get everything bagel seasoning. I only found out about it from the group sites because people kept going, "Oh, this everything bagel seasoning is so delicious," and I was like, everybody keeps talking about this seasoning. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it and try it and see if I can find it in Canada, which of course it was in Canada, which was good. So I did buy it to try, and I was looking at the ingredients. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this because it it looks like it has a lot of sesame seeds in it or something. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm not a sesame seed girl. So I was like, oh, you're going to buy it and try it because if this many people are talking about it, it must be good. And now I'll tell you, I'm sad I cannot buy it. I've seen people on the Facebook groups that buy in this great big container, and I can only buy in these little tiny Clubhouse containers.
Oh.
And when I find those on sale, I buy like 8 because I use it every day.
So our final question in 3-question Thursday. Julie, I want you to go back 7 months. And what would you say to the Julie of that day, just getting ready to go and start Bright Line Eating?
I'll say, Julie, I am so thankful, so thankful that you did it, that you tried, that you read that book, and that you took those steps and you did it. Because, oh my goodness, I cannot express how much healthier I feel. You know what I mean? Like for me, I joined because of the health. I didn't join because I wanted to get skinny. Like I joined because my health was bad and my quality of life was not that great. And I just looked at my future, right? Like I'm like, eventually I'm going to have grandkids come along and I'm not even going to be able to get on the floor and play with them. Like things like that would go through my mind. And I just wanted to be here longer, be here for my family. I want to live as long as I can and be as healthy as I can. And I can't even tell you how much my life has changed in this 7 months. Like it used to be, I'd come home from work, I'd lay on that couch and because I was so tired and hurting. And sometimes I wouldn't even make supper. I'd be like, you guys are on your own. I'm too tired or sore. I don't want to, I have no interest. Right. And it's like, now my life has changed to, I'm hardly ever on the couch watching TV before. I have so much more energy. I don't hurt. I'm not tired. And that's when I sometimes go and prep. I go make my kitchen. I make supper. And then sometimes after I'm supper, like, oh, I'm going to make this blueberry lemon cheesecake for breakfast tomorrow morning. Right. And it's like, and it doesn't bother me to go do that because I'm not exhausted and tired and sore,
It's one thing changes another. You can never just change one thing. And the other day you told me your mantra.
Yes, my mantra is you've got this. And it's always like, when I'm shopping and I have to go past some NMF stuff because you can't avoid it, then it's like, I walk down there and if I even start to look at it, I'm like, nope, you've got this. Not my food. Get going. And I just hustle it out of there. So that's my mantra.
Yeah, Julie, you've got this. And we've all got this. We've got this going. Julie, thank you so much for saying yes and being on Starting Out Bright. And thank you for playing 3-Question Thursday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a delight. So good night, everybody. Stay bright.
Bye.